Breaker Crunchers, it's Friday night in Phoenix, Arizona. We are the Couch Crunchers, and my name is Lance, and this beautiful gentleman to my right, I do right, and then my hand
points the wrong way. Yeah.
So to my right is Maxwell Peterson, my hetero life mate. How are you, buddy?
I am so swell. Aren't I just the best looking hetero life mate you've ever had?
You
I
are
sure think so.
sexy bearded man meat right there. Um, if this is your first time watching our show, we are the Couch Crunchers. We talk about movies and TV shows and sometimes video games and comics and things like that, but just anything that gets our nerd rocks off, I guess you could say.
All right, Nerd Rocks. I like it.
But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about the latest confusing episode of WandaVision. I'm going to fix my look at that pretty butt of my guitar right there. So tonight we're going to talk about the latest episode of WandaVision, episode 3, which debuted this morning. I saw it at 2:45 this morning.
Oh, geez, dude.
And then realized how exhausted I was watching this show that I had to watch it again at noon.
I watched it twice as well, but not like you. I watched it this morning when I woke up before work, and then at my lunch break, I watched it with my wife. And I'm glad I watched it twice because I got more out of it by watching it twice.
So speaking of watching it with your wife, is she enjoying it?
Yeah, she is. She and I have very similar opinions on the show. Like we're both of the opinion that it's really good. And we said after last week, we're like, it's good, but if it doesn't pick up, I'm gonna want to just stop watching and then binge it when it's done. Like we both agreed with that. I do think this week did a better job of making us actually want to like stay tuned. Like I think they gave way more tidbits this week than they did in the last 2 episodes, and we're happy with it. So yeah, Kelsey's enjoying it. She it's not like she's looking forward to it every Friday and has to watch it right then, but I can't think of anything that she's like, I have to watch this right now anyway. That's just not her personality. I am very much that way. I'm urgent to watch anything I want to watch. I'm like, the movie's in theaters, it's Thursday night, I'm going. Okay, I have to. And she's just like, why can't you wait a couple weeks? What's the big deal? And I'm like, no, I have to. A new episode of my favorite show's out. I have to see it. That's my personality, and hers is like, yeah, I want to watch it, but we can wait. It's fine. Well, hers is probably the healthier mentality.
That's why you and I are friends. I mean, basically, we became friends over our mutual love of the Aquabats and our mutual love of going to midnight showings.
Yes. Which don't really exist anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
Even before COVID, they stopped. They stopped like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, they're pretty much coming out the Thursday before at 7, you know.
Which now that I'm old and in my 30s, I am good with. I'm fine with it. Because I remember
something said about midnight showings that make it fun. You know?
Yes, absolutely. I don't disagree. But I'll tell you, in my 20s, when I'd go to one of these midnight showings and then show up to work 2 hours late in the morning, I was very unhappy with myself because I was jeopardizing my job. But now that's not an issue because I can go at 7 o'clock and go to bed at a reasonable hour. So
yeah, but it's interesting that you say that because I know that you usually stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning anyways.
No, I don't. I stay up until midnight. That's like my thing now. Midnight every night, which is late, but I can handle it.
See, I told you it was going to change once you had kids.
No, it's been midnight for a long time.
Yeah. No,
but I do get a less alone time now that I have kids. It's yeah. I remember when I was fostering, I don't remember it being the same, but excuse me, we fostered slightly older than our kid now. And I think it's interesting because they're difficult in different ways when they're older, and then they're easier in other ways when they're older. Like a 2-year-old, as long as they're well behaved-ish, you can get away with playing some video games and letting them just kind of play. Yeah, you got to keep your eye on them, but like they'll entertain themselves. But when they're 3 months old, they just want you to hold them. And you can't really do your own thing, which is fine. Like he's adorable and we love him so much. And and whatnot. Like, and I miss him right now. My wife, I got off work at like 4:30 today, and then my wife left at 5 to go spend some time with her dad, and she took the baby because I had the podcast, and I pretty much haven't seen him all day, and I'm like, oh, I miss my baby. That's the dad life, right?
I don't get that way.
No.
I'm like, get the heck away from me. No,
he's still a sweet baby. He's not a.
Well, okay. So you have.
He's not a brat kid.
So I think I was like that when I had the one, right?
Yeah.
But now my life is just because they're doing this distance learning thing again. They just started like 2 weeks ago. I never have a break from these kids.
Sure.
So with my new position at work, like I'm heavily involved in a lot of the training and stuff like that with our agents.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, I work for an insurance company, and I'm not going to plug that insurance company on here because they don't pay me to do that. So, so they, I train a lot of the agents for different processes that I'm good at, you know. And yesterday I had this big training with like 50 agents on it, listening to me talk about this process. And in the middle of it, my kids just start going nuts, like screaming bloody murder, to the point where I had to say, I'm sorry, everybody. I'll be back in 2 seconds. And I had to mute my microphone, shut off my video in the meeting that I was facilitating to go tell them to shut the hell up. So I'm like, I need a vacation from my kids right now.
I get it, dude. I get it.
I love them dearly, and I would not ask for any different life, but it's hard for them just like it's hard for me, you know.
So it's interesting because I get it. I mean, I don't have as many kids as you, obviously. And tonight I'm feeling the I miss my kid thing, but don't get me wrong. There's definitely times where I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I need some alone time and whatnot. But I mean, it was nice. Like this morning when I watched WandaVision the first time, I had my kid with me. I woke up and I brought him into the office downstairs here, and he played on the ground, or I'd hold him and we watched the episode together, and it was wonderful. But don't get me wrong, I definitely enjoy my alone time. Like I mentioned on the show last week that I got a PS5 and I got the new graphics card I've been wanting for a while. And because life is busy, I haven't gotten to like really use them nearly as much as I was hoping I'd get to. And that's fine. I've got a kid, but man, it's true. They take up time. I usually would like go to bed late, and like, so usually my wife would go to bed at like 9, and then I'd game for a few hours or watch shows that I liked or read a book or whatever. Like I'd have my alone time, which is, as extroverted as I am very introverted in other ways. Like I need my alone time. I thrive when I have some alone time.
You're an extrovert in public, but I notice you do value, like when you and I, so like if you and I have plans, right, to go do something, and I invite somebody to those plans without telling you.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, no. So I don't do that anymore, but I've done it a couple times on you. But it's more so that I'm just trying to like extend a fellowship to somebody. But
and you're very extroverted. Like you're extroverted in every way. I
big groups.
Okay, so we're gonna get serious here for a second. I think this stems from my experience in high school, where, from what I remember, nobody like disliked me, but I didn't have like any friends, and I felt so lonely. And so I kind of developed this mentality of I just need a few close friends, because like in high school, everyone was my friend, but no one was my friend. You know what I mean? Like no one invited me to hang out on the weekends, really. It didn't help that I didn't have a cell phone back then. I get it. Like in retrospect, like I didn't have a cell phone because my parents didn't want to pay for it, and I didn't really have money to pay for it. But yeah, like I never got invited to do stuff unless I invited myself out, and that feels like deprecating after a while. Like you're never the one invited, and so you feel embarrassed, especially as a high schooler, you know. Yeah. And I think I just developed this thing where it's like, no, I just want a few close friends, and that's what I have now. Like I've got my brother, I've got you, I've got a couple other close friends.
Yeah, I think I know what it is. So in case you guys don't know, Max has looked 30 years old since he was 12.
That's true, though.
If you've ever seen 21 Jump Street, where they all think Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are narcs, that's why Max wasn't invited to anything, because everybody thought he worked for the police.
My freshman year, I was asked to buy booze for the seniors.
So
I
Max,
was.
so funny story. We have a mutual friend, Max and I. His name is Mark Burke, and we love him dearly. Even though he pretty much fell off the face of the earth, but we love him dearly.
Yes, we do.
Uh, and
He's one
Max,
of those got married and now no one else exists kind of guys.
yeah, and Max and Mark went to a movie theater together to see something. I don't remember what it
Yeah.
was.
I was 22. He was 23.
Yeah, so Mark is older than Max, and Mark goes up and buys his ticket, and the checkout lady asks, "Don't you want to buy a ticket for your dad?" Referencing Max.
Well, no. Okay, I'm gonna have to retell the story because you're forgetting it. So
Uh,
really, what happened
it
was
was 15 years ago or something like, or 12 years ago.
yeah, it was about 10 years ago now at this point. So, and I was the one there. So you're recounting a story I've told you. So
Yes.
what happened was I went to buy my ticket and then he's going to buy his ticket and he didn't have his student ID. And back then, I don't even know if this is still a thing, but back then you could give your student ID and get a discount. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have my student ID." And she looks to me and says, "Well, you're his dad. You can vouch for him." And I'm like, "I'm not his dad."
And suddenly Max realizes why he never got laid in high school.
Okay, you want to hear another funny story?
Mhm.
This is from this week. And if you guys haven't picked up on it, I'm a religious person. I think you've probably picked up on everyone on the show is. And in my religion, we don't drink. And so I've never really drank and I've never bought alcohol until this week. This was the first time I ever bought alcohol in my entire life so that I could make beer battered fish. I bought a can of Budweiser. It was the first time and I felt so weird. And it's hilarious to me that I'm 32 years old and it's the first time I've ever bought alcohol.
So you were able to buy a single can?
Yeah, I was able to find it at the grocery store.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know they sold them like that. I was telling you to go buy Corona because when I think beer battered, Corona is usually my
sure.
go-to.
I just found whatever I could find at the store. I really didn't want to go anywhere new. And the recipe said whatever you have around the house is fine. And so I was just like, "Oh, Budweiser, I'll use that." But what was annoying is it was like a 32-ounce can, and I only needed like a cup. So then I ended up dumping the rest of it down the drain.
Yeah,
But
so
whatever.
Max calls me to ask for my guidance to buy, and I'm like, dude, just go to the gas station. They sell, little tall boys and stuff like that or whatever. I didn't know they sold little 12-ounce cans individually like that. I knew they sold tall boys, but
Yeah.
luckily you're able to find one. That's hilarious. So
Yeah.
I have a very in-depth history of drinking, as you know, Max.
Yes.
I toured the country with my band for a couple years, and I drank
You
every
live
night.
that rock star life, man.
So I was kind of a connoisseur of booze and alcohol. So
That's
I
why I called him. I'm like,
Max call
do I need a lager or a lager, however you say it?
lager.
What I know I was joking. I'm not that ignorant. But yeah, I don't it is true though that I don't know much stuff. So like but I'm interested in it. And so like some of my friends who drink, I'll ask them questions and they just laugh at me. They're like, you're actually asking questions like you're a high schooler. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's interesting to me. I'm just curious, like
You should have just bought a 6-pack, dude. With the amount of smoking meats on your Traeger and stuff you do, I'm sure that beer would come in handy again.
it's true. I probably should have because it would have lasted a while. There's a
Is
lot
there
of recipes that it would come in handy. No, absolutely. Beer's great for cooking. So is wine. I've never been against cooking with alcohol. I just until this week I'd never done it. So it was just kind of a funny little tidbit.
Yeah. So we spent this last week. My parents sold their house that they lived in for 17 years. And we spent this last week. That's why I was pretty unavailable, Max. I apologize, but we spent this last week cleaning out 17 years worth of just absolute crap. Like it was a nightmare. My mom held on to everything, and then she would buy something, forget that she bought it, and then bought it again. So there's many duplicates of the same exact thing that no one would have duplicates for. Like I found, I think, like 7 or 8 cheese graters. I think like pots and pans, like numerous collections of the same set of pots and pans. Like she just forgets, and that's the testament of somebody that is a shopaholic. You buy so much crap that you forgot that you bought it, and you go buy it again.
Yep.
Yeah. Just so much crap. And then here's the other thing that as you get older, you guys will see. Your parents try to give you all of their crap.
That's true.
Yeah. Every time I walk around the hall, my mom, Lancey, she calls me Lancey. Lancey, do you want this moldy loaf of bread? No.
So it's so funny. This last Sunday, we went over to my mother-in-law's for family dinner, which was great because like since the pandemic, we've stopped doing our monthly family dinners, and we decided, you know what, let's start doing these again. We want to get together. Well, what did we do? We ate at 5, but she asked everyone to come over at 4 so that they could dig through boxes of Christmas stuff and take the stuff she doesn't want anymore. And honestly, I say that like laughing, but it was honestly great because, you know, my wife and her siblings, it was like nostalgic stuff for them. And so they had fun going through it and saying, oh, I remember this decoration. I really want this. And so like that was actually like a welcome thing, but you mentioned it and I'm like, yeah, that's totally true, man. Parents are constantly trying to get rid of crap.
And here's the thing I tried to explain my mom. Just because it's old does not mean there's a nostalgic value to it. So
that's
like
true.
she pulled out this book that was called Power Tunes. And I think when I was younger, she probably bought it when I was like 5. It came with a cassette tape. I don't remember this book from, you know, I don't remember it at all. But she's like, Lance, how dare you not want this book of these songs? I no longer have the cassette tape that went with it, right? So none of these songs are recognizable songs. They're all songs I've never heard of before. So there's no way for me to know how the tune of these songs go. So it's not even something I can teach to my children.
Yeah.
But that book is sitting at my house right now because my mom got mad that I didn't want it. She started saying, I spent $80 on this set. And I said, well, that's stupid.
Like,
why would you spend $80?
Yeah, like 25 years ago. That's fine.
Longer. It was probably like 32 years ago that she bought this book. I think it was made in 1987 or something like that.
Oh man, that's funny.
And I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. This does not register anything on my emotional index that I have to take this book home. But it is now at my house. And it's going to be firmly on display every time she comes to my house.
But unless she's coming over, it's tucked away in some drawer.
Right. But see, that's exactly it. So my house, because of all the crap my mom gave me, is slowly going to turn into her house. It's going to be the same. And then I'm going to have a garage that I can't park my cars in, which I currently do actually. Have a garage that I can't.
You do? I know. I've got at least one car in my garage.
Well, I have a lot of. So I was for a long time refinishing furniture on the side. So I have a lot of old pieces of furniture and some big grand plans to refinish these things, and I never got around to it. So now I just have a garage full of furniture.
Our resident list master. By the way, Crunchers, our resident list master is quite good at this stuff. And he's actually going to be helping me soon because my little rascal's about ready to crawl like any day now. In fact, he kind of already is in his own way. And I need freaking stair covers so that he doesn't crawl and fall out down the stairs.
Yeah, we're going to be building some barricades.
Yeah,
that's why I'll never buy a house with stairs, because my mom's like, well, I mean, eventually they're going to be old enough to where they can walk up the stairs. So I was like, yeah, but eventually, like the next house I buy is going to be such an awesome house that I'm going to die in this house, right? So, and I eventually want to have grandkids, right? So then those stairs are going to be a thorn in my side eventually. So I'm just single-story homes.
Stairs aren't that bad. We had stairs with kids. It was fine.
Dude. When you get older, that was my mom's main complaint. That's why they're moving. She couldn't walk up and down the stairs anymore.
Oh, really?
But you guys move so frequently that
we have. It's funny. I never moved growing up. Well, I moved once. And that was it. And then since I've been married, I've lived in 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th house in 9 years of marriage. Very soon. Yeah, I don't want to move again though. I don't know.
We're only going to be in this house for another 5 years, I think.
I guess you've moved twice since I've known you. Well, 3 times if you count that, but I'm not really going to count that. Since your marriage, you've moved once, I guess.
Tyler's here.
Oh, nice.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
I'm texting you, buddy. What's going on?
Oh, just was troubleshooting some stuff. My webcam wasn't working.
Well,
No.
As we continue to troubleshoot, you're quite loud. Are you able to turn your mic down at all?
I can move it away from me.
That's good.
Cool. Is that good?
Not really any different.
Can't hear it different.
How about now?
That's a little better. I'm only saying it.
DJ Jazzy Tyler in the house, like you know. That's
that
mic. It sounded like the record was scratched.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I'm the one that edits the audio, and so I get a little finicky.
All Max hears is like crap. That's something I got to take out.
Well, and I'm not good enough at editing to do it. But like two weeks ago, Lance's audio was crazy quiet compared to the rest of us, and so I was trying to go through and like level it all out. And after about 30 minutes, I had only gotten through 10 minutes of the episode, and I said, "Screw it!" And so I just released it to the world, and people could deal with it. And then he got a new mic, and it's been better.
Yeah, Tyler, can you hear me? Okay.
You're a little quiet, but I can definitely hear you.
Yeah, I think someone just needs to come over and adjust my computer here, because no matter what I do, I go and spend $200 on this awesome mic setup, and it's still crap.
I know, and it's like you're trying to compensate. It looks like you're making out with that mic because you're so close to it.
Yeah, well, it's a directional mic.
That's louder.
So, yeah, I turned up my gain a little bit, so you actually have to speak directly into it. Because a couple, like when I first got it, I had it maybe 2 feet away from my face, and Max said he couldn't hear me. So, but I can turn up the gain a little bit more. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud.
Am I loud now?
I think you're fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about what we've been up to? We've been like BSing for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude. So there's actually, I'm going to go first this time because I'm actually really, and I never get to go first. So since I'm the host, I'm going to take this chance to go first.
Awesome. I'm going to go take a dump. I'll be back.
Take a dump on my heart. So I was actually really excited. So Anna and I started watching this show, and all I could think about all week was that I got to tell Max and Sam, and I wasn't expecting Tyler to be on the show tonight, but I'm totally glad Tyler's here. I got to tell Max and Sam about this awesome show that I don't think anybody's really given a chance, and it's His Dark Materials. Have you seen it?
Oh, dude, yeah, I watched the first episode. I couldn't get through it, but that's not because it's bad. I just never got through it, and then I didn't come back to it. Yeah, I've heard great things about it.
For the first 2 episodes, you're like, why am I watching this? Right.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't me. The first episode or 2 is a little bland. All right.
Well,
is that kind of like WandaVision?
Bland. It's like, what the hell is this? Like you're like, wait, these people have, and I know it's based off the books, the Golden Compass books, right?
Yeah.
But you're watching, you're like, wait a minute, why do all these people have animals tied to them? Like, what's going on? And then like you're trying to figure out like who is this tribe of people and who's this tribe of people. But we're about midway through the last episode of the first season, and dude, I'm totally captivated by it. It's so good. And Daphne Keane, who's the main girl, and she played X-23 in Logan, she's just fantastic. Like, it's a totally different character for her over
the little girl.
Yeah, the little girl in Logan.
She did super good in Logan. She was great.
She was amazing.
Yeah, so she plays like a Latino Hispanic girl in Logan, and in this she's like this British, like polished, educated girl. So in Logan she's talking with a Latin accent, and in this she's with an English accent and stuff, which most actors can do that. Pretty like good actors can do that, but this girl's got to be only like 13, so it's pretty remarkable that at such a young age, like she's able to show her range.
She's very talented. I hope that she's not just like a child actress that fizzles out, and that like she has a long career ahead of her. Kind of like
Steinfeld.
Steinfeld. I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, I guess that's a good example too. I was thinking like a Hilary Swank, who started off, as a child actor in The Karate Kid and stuff, and then continued to act after that and whatnot. But
yeah, but she didn't Hilary Swank as a kid, probably, I don't think she had the level of success so quickly that Daphne Keane had with Logan.
No, I'm just saying there's not like you see some actors that are actors of kids and then they never really act into adulthood. I'm
Or
just
they
saying
get
she's
drugs.
or that too, sadly.
Yeah, a lot of the
Macaulay
time.
Culkin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the kid who played Anakin. I don't know if he did drugs or not, but like the kid who was like the first Anakin in Star Wars didn't really act again after that. And anyway, not that he was good, so I wasn't really disappointed by that as much. but Millie Bobby Brown, great child actor. The other boy, Finn Lockhart or whatever. There's a bunch of child actors. Wolfhard, sorry. There's a bunch of child actors right now that are very good, and I'm hoping that they continue on into adulthood. And Daphne Keene's one of them. She was one of the best parts of Logan. Every time we bring this movie up, I'm immediately like, guys, I don't want to podcast anymore. I just want to watch Logan. It is seriously one of my favorite movies, and her performance is a big part of that.
What was the name of that actress that was on True Grit? She's on a bunch of new stuff.
Haley Steinfeld.
That's Haley Steinfeld, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And now she's going to be Hawkeye 2.0 or whatever.
Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
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 She's awesome.
She got Oscar, and she might have won an Oscar or something. But for True Grit, like there was like Oscar buzz around her performance. And the other one is the girl that was in that's getting a lot of buzz now too around the time that this movie came out was the girl in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that one that acted out with Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, that young, cute girl in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I can't recall her name for the life of me, but when that movie came out, when they kept talking about this little girl, and Leonardo DiCaprio was like awestruck by her.
Oh, so the one that Leonardo
American
actually,
Housewife.
the one that he was actually acting with.
Yeah.
I don't remember her, so I guess I wasn't as impressed.
I
also didn't like that movie very much.
So,
I thought it was very boring.
Julia Butters?
Love that. Yes. Yeah, so she got a lot of buzz too for
That movie took about 2 hours and 50 minutes to pick up. The last 10 minutes were like, holy crap, what's going on right now?
I've seen it twice and I loved it each time. I think I'm just in. So
Tarantino is a taste, and you've got the taste.
yeah, you're not into A24 movies either, right?
It depends. I mean, I loved Room.
But did you like Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems was awful. It was absolute trash.
See, so Jay and I loved Uncut Gems, and we loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I think those are very similar movie. They're kind of more slow pace.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a masterpiece compared to Uncut Gems.
I loved Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems was just Adam Sandler and a bunch of other New Yorkers screaming at each other for 2 hours. It was aggravating.
Yeah,
I hated that movie.
Jay and I walked out of that movie with the biggest smile on our face, dude.
I'm glad you liked it. I hated it. And I like most everything I see. Most everything I see I like, but man, Uncut Gems I hated. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I just wasn't impressed. I didn't actually hate it. I just thought it was kind of boring. Anyway, so is that all you've been watching, or is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Mostly just documentaries and stuff. I did finish LA's Finest, which is that spinoff of Bad Boys with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba, which mainly I watched it because of Jessica Alba. You're scrolling through Netflix, you see Jessica Alba's face. Help stop. It was okay.
Jessica Alba's very, very, very pretty.
Although I dated myself, so we went to the U-Haul to drop off a bunch of my parents' crap that probably should have been in a dumpster as opposed to a U-Haul. But they're holding the elevator and they're like, "Run, Lance." I was like, "I'm not running for anybody unless you tell me Jessica Alba's in that elevator. I'm not running." And my dad goes, "Jessica Alba? Really?" Like he like, I guess I dated myself at that point because she hasn't really been prominent. 10 to 15
that doesn't make her any less hot.
Oh yeah.
What was she like originally famous for?
She did that Dark Angel show when she was
which one? Sorry,
Dark Angel. That was like her first breakthrough. It was like a sci-fi show. She was
I remember her in A-Team, and even A-Team, it was like after her like big success.
Jessica Alba was
not Alba. I was thinking Biel. Sorry, I'm thinking Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel was Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Jessica Biel's very pretty too. Sorry, I don't know why I got that mixed up. Jessica Alba was like my celebrity crush for ages. I don't know how I got that mixed up.
Still is mine.
Fair enough. She is a beautiful woman. Well-
Tyler, what about you? You haven't been on the show in a couple weeks, so well, let's let Max settle down now. Let's let Tyler go.
I'm excited. Last week, I was speaking into this piece of crap mic, not realizing it, and I'm listening to the audio like, why do I sound like garbage? I'm speaking into my good mic this week, and I'm very happy.
We can let Max go.
One of these days, no, I'm going to let you go. But one of these days, we got to get Tyler a proper mic. In fact, Lance, if you haven't thrown your other one away, we might see if Tyler should demo that one.
Apparently, it's thing. Oh, my blue mic, my Yeti.
Yeah.
I think it's broke. But apparently, there's a snowball sitting at Sam's house that he doesn't use. So,
is this not good? I thought it sounded good.
Not very good.
No, you kind of sound like you're
when he
sitting
bought it. I was like, bro, why do you got to go away from the pack with this thing? I was like, why can't you just buy the one that we told you? Yes, this one works. He's like, no, I'm gonna buy this thing on Amazon that everybody says is good. Screw you four guys.
All right,
I'm gonna buy
Tyler.
this one.
It was way cheaper, and I'm not rich.
Tyler,
Well,
who's sitting on the toilet, tell us what you've been watching, Toilet Tyler.
I think it's partly the room I'm into because my den is just really big.
Yeah, you need a door, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is exciting, Max. You're gonna need to come over for this.
Okay, I'm getting excited.
So I convinced my wife finally, since it's really hard to get out of the house to like go running and like get in shape because I'm taking care of the baby whenever I'm
I know
home.
what you're about to say. I'm very excited. Tell us. Tell everyone else who doesn't know.
I know, dude. Are you deliberately like drawing this out to where we're like, what the hell is he talking about?
I gotta build suspense.
This is a WandaVision level surprise.
This is like Dark Troopers pounding on the door, waiting for Luke to come. No, it's I bought a Oculus Quest 2. And
so now you're running in your house.
I'm doing
what
like
jogging had to do with it. I'm trying to figure out where jogging came into.
Well, it's my cardio. So I do these. Like,
Beat Saber?
I haven't played Beat Saber yet. I do have it, but I've been doing this boxing game. Oh man, it really like works me out like hard. But
yeah.
I also purchased the first episode of Vader Immortal. Vader Immortal.
Is that a game or a show?
It's a VR game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it's pretty dang sweet. I'm only like maybe 20 minutes into it so far, but so far it's pretty freaking awesome. So you're gonna have to come over and check that out, Max. I think that.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
And like it's creepy, man, because like Darth Vader like comes in a room when you got your VR headset on, and he gets like right in your face and like threatens to kill you. You're just like, okay, well, this is intense.
That's scary.
Well, so that doesn't work with a console, right? Like it's not an Xbox or PlayStation.
No, it's
really separate.
Yeah, it's a standalone device. You can hook it up to a PC for like extra storage and stuff. But you don't have to. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
So do you buy games like an app store?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, right now I've played a boxing game. My wife played Beat Saber, but I'm just super surprised about how intuitive it is because like it's just a controller, but like it senses your fingers. Like you don't even have to push the buttons. It knows when your fingers are touching the buttons. And so like when you lift your fingers off of a button, it will like your pointer finger will point. And then you like push buttons down and you can make fists and you can grab stuff and stuff. So it's pretty sweet. Like the training thing that you go through, it has these different training programs and you have this table in front of you and it has these game cartridges. And you actually pick up a game cartridge for whatever training you want to do and like put it into a console and then it starts up a program for you. Like, so it's pretty cool.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. VR is amazing, man. It's still for most of the general public, it's still like unaffordable. You know what I mean? Like for good ones, like you can get those stupid things where you slide your phone in it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
those aren't
like,
exciting.
that Oculus is how much?
So there's two of them. One of them is 300, and the other one is 400, and they just have storage space differences. So.
Oh, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one. I almost thought about getting the one that matches with the PlayStation because there's like that Iron Man VR game.
Yeah, the PSVR is pretty cool. People say. I don't think it works with PS5 though. They're still working on support for PS5.
Yeah, this was before, but I hear the Oculus is like pretty much the gold standard, right?
I haven't played the PlayStation one, but the Oculus is like way more. It's just got way more features than I expected it to, and the visuals are fantastic. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's got pretty high graphic quality for VR. Like VR is a lot harder to get high end graphics, and like that Vader Immortal game is pretty good. So
yeah. Well, that's awesome. I got to come over and bring you some baby stuff anyway. So maybe I can play with it when I'm there.
Yeah.
The VR, not the baby.
Is your Oculus actually like wireless? Because I know the PSVR people were like complaining about how you have to have it plugged in and you have all these cords everywhere.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wireless. So the only bad thing about it is the battery only lasts like maybe like I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes with runtime.
Oh,
yeah. So it's pretty short battery.
You could plug it in if you wanted, right, and play with it plugged in.
You can. It's just not. That's just kind of not the point of it. But you can do that.
Sure. Well, that's actually really good to know because I'm interested in VR, but my office is so small. I haven't really wanted to get one that like plugs into my PC or anything like that because I would not want to use VR in my office. I'd break something. But I could go into my living room, which is more open, and like enjoy it or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not like crazy interested in VR, but I have a small degree of interest.
I think it's really fun. So just come check it out, man. It's super fun.
Absolutely,
but like it's pretty cool. Like you take it and you draw like a play area on the ground. Like you point your gun down and you draw it on the ground, and the VR has like a camera on the front. So when you're looking down, like you can actually see your living room through the camera, and you draw it. And then if you walk out of that space, then it tells you you're leaving the play area, and then it shows you the space through the camera so you can see what's going on in the room. So like if the baby starts fussing or something, it's a lot easier for me to transition, like take my headset off, go help out the baby and start doing that or whatever. So
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty
What about you, Max? What are you doing?
Well, definitely still being in my gaming kick. I finished Miles Morales. Loved that. It was really, really good. And
the first one's better. You agree, right? I know you sent me the text, so I already know the answer.
Yeah,
to this,
the first one has a better story. The combat is evolved in Miles Morales, and so like it is better, and the web slinging with the tricks and stuff is a little better in Miles Morales. But as far as the actual story goes, I don't know how anyone could think Miles Morales' story is better. But I take that back actually, and I mean what I'm about to say very seriously. Miles Morales is very culturally based, and I have heard podcasters who are of a more Latino and Hispanic or a Black background who very much identify with Miles Morales' story, especially people who are from Harlem. Like, there's something about his story and his origins that really resonates with that crowd. Maybe it's because I'm a white guy that Peter Parker's story resonates with me more. I also think the fact that story is longer and you have more time to develop.
That was my main thing. I loved Miles Morales and the original Spider-Man.
I love Miles Morales as well.
I thought both their stories were very rich. My issue with Miles Morales is just too short. I wanted more.
Yeah, it is short, and I just didn't develop that. Like, there's things that happened at the end of the game that I don't want to spoil that didn't impact me much because I didn't have connection enough to some of the characters.
I was also hoping in the first game you get to play as Mary Jane and Peter Parker and even one point Miles, a pre-Spider-Man, right? So you get to play as all these different characters. That doesn't really happen in this game. It's just all Miles all the time. And I thought, okay, Spider-Man's his mentor. Maybe there's going to be a game where you play a Spider-Man to do a mission. Like I wanted some of that texture like we got in the first game. And that probably would have increased the game time, you know what I mean, by adding some little bit a few more stories on it.
Yeah, well, and I think there's a reason that the game was short. It only came out 2 years after the first Spider-Man, so they didn't have a ton of time to develop it. I'm imagining that their development time was only about 2 years, and so they already had the whole of New York developed, so that they didn't have to redo that. They just kind of added a layer of snow across it, and then they, of course, there's like some internal areas you go that are new. There's new things, but they had like probably 75% of the world developed already, but then they had to do new story missions and new characters and stuff like that. And I would say it seems appropriately long for how long they had to develop it. But yeah, Spider-Man, the original, was far better. So that's
one thing I hope they do in the next one is I hope they make it more open world. You know what I mean? Like, because there's other islands.
That would be cool if they expanded the islands. Yeah.
Yeah, like because you can't go on the bridge to get to the next island ground. Like I hope they make it more open world in the same sense that Grand Theft Auto is.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool if they opened up the other islands. I will say this: I was really happy. So Lance, when he played it, there were only two modes. There was the 4K mode with ray tracing, which you could only get 30 frames per second on, and then there was the, I don't think it was quite 4K, but it was like almost 4K, no ray tracing, 60 frames. And that's the mode you played on, the performance mode. And, it had that smooth 60 frames. You didn't have any ray tracing, though. Well, by the time I got to play it, they had another update out that had the game more at like a 1440p resolution with ray tracing, 60 frames. And that's how I played it most of the game. I would switch back and forth between performance and the ray tracing mode, and I preferred the ray tracing mode at 60 frames, and that was really nice. So I got to experience.
Is that on PS4?
It is on PS4, but not with ray tracing and stuff.
You were playing it on your.
I got a PS5.
Oh, you got it on a PS5.
Yeah, it's not on PC. Yeah, I got a PS5 a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so did I even know that?
I may not have told you. I probably
you were in baby mode, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Max and I are lucky. We got PS5s for the regular retail value.
There she blows.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
It is so freaking big, dude. I can't even put it under my TV like that. Literally,
my office
half of my entertainment center.
I'm really glad with how high Lance and I ended up mounting the TV. And we did it on purpose because I knew that I'm working here. This is my workspace. And I wanted to be able to see the TV above my monitors so that if I was on my lunch break, I could just kind of turn to my desk and not have to adjust anything. And I'm glad I did, because now the PS5 is pretty much right at the bottom of my TV and I'm good to go. So, and even like my PC, I used to have my PC over there, but then I moved it closer to my desk, which I'm glad I did, because I had cords like stringing halfway across my office, and I didn't like it. It looked bad. It was a hazard. Anyway. But even my PC, when it was over there, fit pretty well with how high the TV is. But yeah, dude, Spider-Man was great. Is it?
Well, because
the one in your office.
So I had to put it higher because it's further away to reach over my monitors. But now it's like it's just above my webcam.
Nice.
So
yeah, so that's one thing I was doing, and then I also got my RTX 3070, so I've been playing my games on PC and just kind of, I haven't really been playing anything in particular, because I beat Cyberpunk, I beat AC Valhalla, like I've beat all the games that I wanted to recently. There's nothing new, so I've kind of just been going back to everything I own and just seeing how it performs, and it's been pretty fun to see how well that card performs. And then here's the other thing I wanted to mention before we get into the WandaVision review. Orphan Black. A while back, Lance had said I should try out Orphan Black, and I was looking for a new show to watch, and I remembered that recommendation. So I started that. I'm about 5 episodes in, and you were talking about, it is weird, but I like it. We were talking earlier in the show about like actors who are really, we were talking about that young actress, Daphne Keane, who played a Mexican girl in one movie and was very convincing, and now she's a British girl in His Dark Materials, and how convincing she was as two totally different characters. And in Orphan Black, I mean, Tatiana, I can't remember her last name, but the main actress,
Maciali, I think, or
she plays multiple characters in the show consistently, and they're all different, and they all feel different, and she does a really good job. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited that she's going to be She-Hulk now that I've watched the show more, because I really like her. She's really good.
You should watch when you're done with that, you should watch Perry Mason on HBO, because she's in season 1, she's a main character.
Is she? Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check that one out.
I like her. I don't find her like imposing. Like I think She-Hulk would be like really. I have a hard time picturing her as muscular.
Well, do we know what they're gonna do? Are they gonna CGI She-Hulk or not? Because I mean, Mark Ruffalo is not very imposing.
Because She-Hulk looks like basically a giant. Like she's not to the point where she's muscle bound to where it's grotesque like the Hulk is, right?
Yeah,
so,
I
like,
know.
she still wears regular human clothes, and I just think for a TV show, like I don't know why they would make her guy.
Maybe she's bulking up. I don't know. But people said the same thing about Gal Gadot when she was becoming Wonder Woman. She's not strong. She's not big enough. And she bulked up a little, but she still did a fantastic job. So
she's tiny. I think the main thing that I heard, and this is obviously from misogynistic people, is that her boobs weren't big enough.
I know, why does that matter?
I didn't hear anything about her frame or anything like that. I didn't care. I'm like, last time I didn't know Wonder Woman was defined by her boobs.
I know. I never thought of Wonder Woman as like busty. I'm like, what?
Well, Linda Hamilton, or not Linda Hamilton.
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter is so. But
yeah, I still never thought of the character that way. That's just anyway.
Yeah, and that obviously doesn't matter. But there were definitely a lot of people who were up in arms about her not being, muscular enough. Which,
yeah, that's what I remember hearing a lot of.
Yeah,
I don't remember Wonder Woman being muscular, really.
Oh, she's not like crazy muscular, but if you look at Gal Gadot before she was working out for Wonder Woman, she was she was basically a bunch of popsicle sticks rubber band together. Like she was super skinny, man. Like
it's true. If you look at her in the Fast and Furious movies, she's real skinny.
Yeah, and you're like, how can this be a superhero? Like, so she bulked up a little bit, but
she's a babe.
Yeah, her face is super pretty always, but yeah, she did. She bulked up a little bit, but like it wasn't a ton, but it was a lot more than what she had.
When they announced her, I was like, oh, good. I didn't think she got a fair shake in Fast and Furious. Like she was there and then she wasn't. And then and I liked her in Fast and Furious, so I was totally cool with her being Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I'm very glad.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into our main topic of the night. Tyler, I'm assuming you watched the latest episode of WandaVision.
Yeah.
So we saw episode 3 of WandaVision. Max and I both saw it twice. Not together, but we saw it twice. Right, Max?
Yes, sir.
And I'm still sitting here, like they revealed a little bit more, but I'm still sitting here like, what the hell is going on, man? I could say this much. I laughed a lot in this episode.
There were some pretty funny parts.
Yeah. But last time I checked, edge clippers can't cut through solid cinder blocks. So I'm trying to figure that one out.
Well, that's part of the illusion. But let me say this. We forgot to talk about something very important this week. We did. Okay. And that's the presidential inauguration. Now,
no,
hold on.
We're not that show, bro.
No, we're not. We're not. That's why I worded it that way, to freak you out a little. If we're talking funny this week, WandaVision was funny, but there ain't nothing as funny as half of the Bernie memes that have come out this week.
That's true. That ghost one was stellar. Did you see that
one? The one I posted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, that's right. You posted it. Oh, yeah, man, I was laughing my butt off. I watched it like 4 times in a row.
So I heard someone say this week, I think it was actually the Holderness family. If you don't follow them, they're pretty funny. But I think what he said was, I've got friends on both sides, that supported each candidate. And I'll tell you what, neither candidate was able to unite the country as much as Bernie Sanders has been able to unite the country this past week with his memes. And it's true. I mean, not that Bernie really had anything to do with the memes, but like, I think everyone in this country can agree that the Bernie Sanders memes are funny. No matter where you stand politically, they're funny. Anyway, I just wanted to mention.
Oh my gosh! I just went to your page to look at the ghost one.
Isn't it funny? Okay, can we share that really quick, Lance?
It's not copyrighted or anything, is it?
I don't think so. It's just a GIF from Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead and share it, and I'll
Let's see if I can open it in a new tab. That's weird looking.
I'll
just share my screen. So for the podcast listeners, sorry, but
I didn't want the whole world to watch it. So
okay, well here, share now.
It's coming.
So this is the GIF that we're talking about.
It is very well done.
If you just want to Google Bernie Sanders ghost GIF, I'm sure it'll come up. But this is pretty darn
very
funny.
well done. It is very well done.
It's hilarious. And my sister put some comments below, but I'm not going to share those out of privacy for hers. But just in case she didn't want her like name or anything like that shown, But there's another really funny one of the guy. I think they say it's Jason Momoa, where he's walking past people in lawn chairs and he like flips his lawn chair out. There's one where they did the flipping the lawn chair out and Bernie's sitting in it. Oh man, it's so freaking funny. It's so
funny.
It
looks like Jason Momoa, but he's
like way skinnier. Yeah, I did not realize that was Jason Momoa until someone told me that today. I'm like, I did not know that.
I love that poster behind your head with the Red Hood and Nightwing and Robin.
Oh yeah, dude, I love this one. Yeah, got that at Comic-Con 2019, or was it? No, it's 2018. Phoenix Fan Fusion 2018.
Did I tell you what I'm thinking about getting? So my office is basically my man cave. I can do whatever I want in here. It has a door. It's
that's why
decorated.
80% of the walls are pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you've got so many. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Just start your own store.
I know, right? I wouldn't want to sell them all. I'd just keep hoarding them. That's a bad idea.
They'll do trade-ins. Trade-ins only.
Trade-ins for free.
People would be like, "This box
give me
this much," and you'd be like, "But what's the emotional value?"
No, so what I want to do is the curtains behind me, because with work I wanted to be a little bit more professional, which doesn't really matter because now in Zoom I use backgrounds all the time, so I guess I really didn't need to switch my office around. But I think I want to get some custom Couch Crunchers curtains.
No, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
With our logo on it. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, just a bunch of little Couch Crunchers. But I don't know where to do that.
So I'm sorry, I took us off track. Let's go ahead and get back to WandaVision. I'm sorry, Lance. I had to mention the Bernie thing before we ended the show. I just thought it was so funny, all those memes.
So this episode of WandaVision was called Now in Color. It was episode 3. It was the first of the series to be in color, the whole series. And I would say that it's probably mimicking like the Brady Bunch a little bit. Would you say?
That's the vibe I got for sure.
Yeah. So this must be the Brady Bunch style episode, which I want to see what they do next week. I'm really hoping it gets into like maybe I don't know, what's a big one from the 80s? Like, would that be like, because are they mimicking situational like sitcoms? So
that's
would
kind
it
of
be
what they've
like
been doing? Yeah.
I know there's a Full House one, right? Because they talked about that on Jimmy Kimmel, how it was this kind of meta thing. I'm really excited to see what the next one's going to be. That's my favorite part, is watching the episodes and trying to figure out what era they're kind of mimicking and what shows they're mimicking. And they even went as far as to give Vision the flocked hair. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
In it, like he looked
Yeah.
so 70s. It was awesome. But yeah, so it was called Now in Color. It continues with, and there's going to be spoilers here, so I want to make sure everybody understands that before I get any further in it. We know it came out this morning, so if you have not seen it, this is not the show for you. What I've been calling this is kind of a support group for people that have seen the show and have no idea what the hell they're watching. Opportunity for us to all talk about it together. But I'm gonna put a thing on here in case anybody comes in, because I know most of our listeners come in about halfway through. So episode 3 spoilers. Okay. Help if I spell that right? So but one of my favorite, so it continues with WandaVision, or with Wanda being pregnant, and we quickly find out this is an expedited pregnancy, right? Hence the name of my my tag
12 hours
name.
pregnant.
Yeah, what would you call this? What is that name? Is it a tag name? Like, what is that?
Sure.
Moniker.
A moniker? Yeah,
moniker.
I guess. So let me add the banner here.
Yeah, dude. So it starts off so freaking funny with, well, I don't know. I thought it was funny, the whole intro music and the way it looked, and well, that too. But like even just before that, that's where I got the most Brady Bunch vibes, was the like panels with their faces in it. It felt very Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And then I love how they start with the doctor and they're making stupid jokes, and it's comfort food, you know. But it's also a Marvel show, and they started giving enough tidbits this week that it felt more like a Marvel show. So I was really enjoying it. But sorry, I think I interrupted you, Lance. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. No interruption. I was just saying it was they started out with the doctor. I thought you were looking for your words, so I was trying to help you.
Yeah, no, but I just loved it because they start off with the doctor, and he says, I think you're 4 months pregnant. And of course they had to work into there how sexist they were in the 70s, because he's like, yeah, we put it in terms of fruit so that the women can understand it. And it's a little bit simpler for her.
Response to that, the look.
I know, her just like really.
Here,
I know my wife laughed at that too. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me!" But they're doing a good job at mimicking the eras. What was that?
They still do that. Everything's a fruit related to.
They do that, but they don't say it's because women are too dumb to understand anything else. Because that's a ludicrous. That's a ludicrous thing to say.
I think it's more so the wives now saying it's.
Well, yeah,
he taps her belly. It's a honeydew, like you would talk to a little like a little kid, like, oh, you're gonna love this ice cream. It has chocolate in it. Like, it's a honeydew. I was laughing so hard.
I mean, Tyler, you guys just went through having a baby, and Kelsey and I did, and Lance, you did. All three of us just went through having a baby, and Lance, of course, you're very experienced with that. But I thought it was so funny, all of the pregnancy stuff going on, and as she's having a Braxton Hicks contraction, and like how the house is kind of like freaking out a little bit, and the electricity in the whole neighborhood goes out, and then her water breaks, and the whole house is raining. And I just thought it was so cool, the illustrations that they were doing, because like they did it comically as if it was a sitcom, but we all know that everything in this is like kind of got some degree of like symbolism, right? Like, so it's all part of this fabricated reality. At least in my theory, it's all part of this fabricated reality that Wanda has made for herself. And it's very interesting because last week I didn't think it was Wanda making this. I thought someone else was making it. And then Lance and Sam kind of convinced me that Wanda was doing this herself. And this week made me think that even more. I'm just like, okay, I think Wanda is the one fabricating this reality. That's why it's raining. That's why, people are so weird. I think that the guy that was trimming the hedge earlier, what he was trying to say is that we are all, either a figment of imagination or we're not real or something like that is what he was trying to say. And then, of course, at the very end, when Wanda essentially pushes Regina, or what's her name? Geraldine, sorry, pushes her out of the reality entirely. Wanda's like, I don't like what you're telling me. You're pulling me back into the real world, which is too painful to live in. I'm getting you out of here. At least that's how I interpreted that moment. I don't know about you guys.
Seems like So I agree with you, but there was one little thing that made me kind of second guess that assumption because
Okay.
I have the same as you. Like I believe WandaVision's the one doing it.
Or
I
Wanda.
think Vision or Wanda. I think Vision's the only one that doesn't know what's going on, it seems. So I
Yeah.
wonder if there is some piece of him there, like if they were able to salvage something, or
Sure.
maybe
Yeah.
this is all in an effort to like rebuild him. Like Sam brought up that point
Yeah, could be.
last week. But it almost seems like she is so invested into the world. And then she had that moment where she mentioned her brother that it seemed like a switch had flipped. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
It's
was
like
like one of
most
my
of the time
favorite parts
she's-
of the episode.
Yeah, but it seems like most of the time she's not realizing where she's at, and then she kind of gets snapped back to reality. Because Geraldine is not the one that made her mention Pietro.
True.
She did that.
Geraldine's the one that talked about Ultron killing him.
Yeah. And that's kind of what set her off. But
what was
but
it? There was
snapped
something.
to reality.
There was something earlier in the episode though that I'm blanking on now, where Vision mentioned something that would kind of snap her out of that reality, and she rewound time and made him say something different.
But it
You guys
wasn't
remember
even
that?
rewind, it was like a glitch.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
notice
true.
that? So
Yeah.
in episode 2, she actually rewinds time, and that's when she becomes pregnant, right? When she sees the guy coming out of the sewer. But in this one, I thought that there was something wrong with my streaming thing, so I actually rewound it myself, and then figured out it's part of the show. So, but it jumps. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it
almost
jumps right
like
back.
it's almost like, you know how back in the old, like you take the cassette tape, like if somebody cuts a piece out of it and then splices it together, it would
Yeah.
like kind of skip. That's what it kind of reminded me of, like very Fight Club ish.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, one of you have my Fight Club Blu-ray,
That's
and I need
me.
to get that back from you.
that's me.
And so Tyler has my Reservoir Dogs, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, which I'm guaranteeing both of you have not watched them yet, right?
Don't read my mind.
I watched it right away.
I forgot I had it, honestly.
Did you really, Tyler?
No.
Reservoir Dogs is good. You should watch it. The tough thing
can't-
with me is I know the twist in freaking Fight Club, and so it makes it a little bit less exciting.
It's still a fantastic movie.
But I don't know the journey to get there, so I do want to watch it.
I have this thing
Well, I read the book
against
and watched the movie, so I knew the twist too.
Fair.
Go ahead, Tyler. What were you saying?
Sorry, I was just saying I have a thing against discs now. I'm like too lazy to go set it up, put a disc in.
Dude, I
Watch
get
some-
it. Did you end
Oh
up
my
watching
God.
The Lord of the Rings on my Vudu in 4K though?
No, I want to watch it with my wife, so I'm trying to.
Okay.
I'm pretty
I-
sure the amount of times that you've watched it and the amount of times that she's watched it, she's not going to care if you watch it and then watch it again with her, because I'm sure you're going to watch it more than once in the future.
Okay, but it's first time in 4K. Okay,
Oh my God. I highly doubt she cares as much as you,
she does not. But
because my
Yeah.
wife is like, "Why did we have to buy a new TV? This one
Yeah.
looks great."
you know what? Okay, so Kelsey does the same thing, or she says that, and then we'll be downstairs watching a show, which is on a 4K TV, and then we'll go upstairs to the loft and keep watching the same show, which is only a 1080p TV. And she's mentioned it doesn't look as good here. I'm like, yeah, it's 1080p, and that's even in a show that's streaming at 1080. But even a show streaming at 1080 looks better on a 4K TV.
They'll say things like that. Like this is what wives do, right? They'll say things like that until you ask them, "Doesn't this look better?" And they're like, "I can't tell a difference," because they're
Yeah.
still pissed.
Well,
They're
they
still
have to win
pissed that
that
you
battle.
spent money on the TV or new Blu-ray. I remember when Blu-ray came out, and my wife is like, "I can't tell a difference between this and a DVD." And I said, "You're just effing with me now. Like, you can't tell a difference between that 480p DVD."
Yeah, dude,
And
it's
this-
legit blurry. It's like taking your glasses off.
I'm like, "You're just screwing with me, man. Like, that's
I
all you're
can-
doing."
I can honestly sympathize more with my wife not understanding the difference between 1080 and 4K. For me, it's a distinct difference, but I can get it. But if you try to tell me you can't see the difference between standard 480p and 1080, you're lying, because there's a big difference. Unless you're watching like, you know, a show from the 80s or something, like, or Friends. Like if you're watching Friends in 480 versus 1080, is it a big difference? Maybe not. But if you're trying to watch The Avengers in 480p versus 1080p or 4K, you can tell that one of them is better.
Oh yeah, like I play Miles Morales. I'm like, Anna, doesn't this look amazing? And she looks at me and goes, it looks like every other computer game you've ever played. I'm like, you're a jerk. You're just going for the soul at this point. Like you're just trying to just rip my soul out of me. Like I'm so excited about this PS5 that I bought, and I think it looks amazing. And you tell me it looks just like friggin' Mario Kart? Like screw you and the horse you rode in on.
That's when you go to the garage, you get an N64, and you plug up GoldenEye, and you go, it looks the same, huh?
Tape their eyes open. Tape them open. Tell me it looks different. Tell me.
Dude, I can even see the difference in PS5 Spider-Man Miles Morales and PS4 Miles Morales. Like, there's a difference even there, but it's more subtle, I'll admit. But
yeah,
look at those pointy boobs on Xenia on the top. Are you telling me that's the same?
Yeah, but
yeah.
No, again with I'm gonna bring us back on track again with this show. It's pretty remarkable the amount of detail that they pay attention to, even though the fans have already found a goof in the show. Did you guys hear about this?
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I might have an answer.
Is there somebody in like a pair of jeans like that's like standing off to the side or something?
That's 3 minutes, baby. This is no, basically Vision is all in his Vision paint, right? His makeup. But there's a in the sleeve, you can see the Paul Bettany's like true skin color with no paint on it. And people are like, oh, Marvel, like a lot of people are saying it's probably deliberate because
that's
Marvel,
what I was gonna say. Just because I want
everything's deliberate, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of funny. Everything maybe that's just because of the show that they're mimicking, right? Like all those old shows, for most of them, they seem kind of hastily put together, right?
Okay.
Like I thought that goof would have been put there deliberately by Marvel because that was probably something that would happen in this era of television.
I think that's possible. That was the joke I was going to make, or that there was some other reason that it was deliberately put there. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. It might be a mistake, but whatever, if it is, you know.
I would have never noticed it if somebody didn't plaster a picture on the freaking internet.
I never would have noticed either.
You know how many times I watched the original Jurassic Park and I never saw that guy with his hand on the top of the Velociraptor until like 2020. When
I don't even know what you're talking about. What is this?
So there's a scene in Jurassic Park where Velociraptor's entering into this kitchen, like chasing the kids.
What?
And
Okay.
there's one of the crew members' arm is like on top of the Velociraptor, like guiding it in there. And you can see it, but you have to really, really look for it, you know, and nobody's paying attention to that. Everybody's looking at the Velociraptor, you know, like, so
Yeah.
I never saw that until 2020.
That's why,
dude, I didn't even know about it till just now.
Yeah, I did not
I'm
know about
today
that.
years old when I learned this.
I'm a year behind you, Tyler. I'm 2021 learning this. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Like The Mandalorian, there was the jeans guy, which I get. They went back and edited it. I kind of wish they wouldn't have and just like leaned into the joke.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Game of Thrones, theirs was worse. Like a Starbucks cup in the middle of like this middle, you know, olden times setting. But whatever. I don't notice that stuff because I'm watching a show and I'm engrossed in the environment. Like I don't think about it. I don't care. But some people notice it. And it's probably the kind of people that are like looking for mistakes, you know. But
well, Game of Thrones, I think it was just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
People were pissed anyway.
Yeah, they were already mad. So
I'm trying to find this thing online and I cannot get it.
The Jurassic Park thing?
Yeah, I want to see this.
When it comes to Jurassic Park, you always listen to Tyler. Tyler, as a 10-year-old, looked exactly like a redheaded boy.
I'm like, how many times have I seen this movie? I've never known this. It's
No, we always used to joke when we were younger that Tyler looked just like the kid from Jurassic Park. And you did, Tyler. Like,
I was him for
without a
Halloween.
doubt. And you looked just like him. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Let's see if I can find it. I'll look for it.
Yeah, I want to see this. After the show, I'm going to put this on my TV and just frame by frame go through that kitchen scene.
Yeah, but dude, I enjoyed the episode, and I felt like they gave us some more tidbits that we didn't get in the first two, and it made it a little bit more interesting. Again, with her bringing up Ultron killing Pietro, I thought that was cool. The fact that Wanda even brought up Pietro, like I feel like the reality is starting to shift and change. I do think that it's a cool theory that maybe she's rebuilding Vision. I think that's very possible, and I hope it's true because I like the character of Vision, and I was sad when he died.
Oh, it's not the head; it's the tail.
It's the tail. Okay.
Is there one with the head too?
No,
Sorry.
it's not that it doesn't go into his head. It's just the back of the Velociraptor. He's got his arm reaching through the door. Yeah,
I found it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Max.
You're good. You're good. Do you have a screenshot now? You have to share it.
I'm pulling it up right now. It's not a super great resolution though. So,
Well, if
I
you got
got
a better one,
it.
Lance, throw it up here. Let's see this. Where is it?
see his arm?
No, I'll have to go back and look again.
Over.
You
So
can
it's by the tail.
mistaken it as his tail.
Right here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
So he's
That's
probably like
wild.
trying to push it in there.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I never would have noticed that, but it's actually pretty obvious now. Wow. Okay. And this
Yeah,
comes
there
to a
is.
courtesy of Insider, in case you didn't know.
It's one
Yeah.
of those things
Well,
where
don't
it's just
shut
like,
down our channel because we showed a clip from Jurassic Park, please.
I know, right?
Friggin'
No, there's but that's one of the like most visually well done movies of all time because they use like real props and stuff and it looked great.
Well, and the
Yeah.
lighting and everything, like, yeah, dude, Spielberg worked wonders on that.
Well,
It
yeah, and
reminds me
real.
of both Jim Henson like movie like Labyrinth and stuff, like how much detail they put into like the puppets and stuff.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
always something to be said about those kind of movies.
yeah. But it was the point is like even that movie had a mistake in it, like it's just gonna happen sometimes. So
Yeah.
people need to get over it.
Yeah. So, Tyler, what did you think about this latest episode of WandaVision? What are your
Okay,
thoughts?
so I don't know what you guys have been talking about because I didn't see last week's episode.
Wait, so you watched episode 3, but you didn't see episode 2?
No, of Couch Crunchers. I didn't see last week's
Oh,
episode.
gotcha.
So I don't know what you guys have been thinking about it, but I it's been hard for me to get through any of them. Honestly, like I've not been enjoying them. I don't know. It's just like
Marvel simp.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
kidding.
I can catch a lot of the like Easter eggs and stuff that they're throwing in and everything, but it's so over the top cheesy that like, if I were to go back and watch like an episode of I Dream of Jeannie or what's the one with the redhead? I don't know.
Gilligan
Any of
Violet?
those older shows. Like they are not nearly as over the top cheesy as WandaVision is. And that's saying
this one was
something.
pretty true. Like to Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch was a cheesy freaking show.
Yeah, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't really watch Brady Bunch, but I mean, I watched a lot of those shows, and man, these were just really hard for me to get through. I haven't really liked them, and I really wanted to like them, but
I loved it, man. Like I thought the cheesiness was just perfect. Like I remember watching those black and white I Dream of Genies, and dude, they're pretty cheesy, man. Like I don't know.
I'm liking it too.
Like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that scene in the beds where she turns on and off the light, and they're like the noises come from outside. Like that seemed to be come straight from one of those, like a Bewitched episode. Don't you think, Max?
Yeah, absolutely. It was so typical sitcom, especially older style sitcom. And the husband acting all scared, and I thought it was hilarious. I don't want the show to always be this. Like if this gets a second season, I wouldn't want it to be sitcom vibe again, because I know they're working on something bigger for the overarching story. But I'm loving it for what it is. I think it's really fun. And my wife loves sitcoms, and she likes the Marvel, so I probably would have been able to get her to watch it with me anyway. But I love that my wife is watching it with me, because I watch most of the nerdy stuff myself. She's just not into that, and so I'm loving it. It gives me an opportunity to watch something with my wife and share that. And it's not typical Marvel. I get it, but to me, it's delightful.
I didn't expect it to be.
Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't expect it to be typical Marvel, but like the end of episode 3, when she chucks the girl out, right? That part was cool, because like I was like, now we're getting somewhere. And I don't know, like I was kind of expecting there to be more of things like that. Like maybe we would see inside of WandaVision and then get a glimpse of outside of WandaVision in some way. But it's not been that. It's just been all just cheesy sitcom, like 100% for the first 2 episodes.
And I think that's coming. I think that these first couple episodes are just meant to tease you, because I think when Randall Park, the FBI agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp, the one that was speaking on the radio in the episode 2, I think when he starts really getting introduced, like, because he's supposed to be a main character, and all we've heard is his voice in episode 2.
Yeah,
I think that's when really the other side is going to start taking more than half of these episodes. Like I think it's eventually more and more we're going to see on that other side, because it's only what 8 or 9 like 10 episodes max.
And yeah, it's supposed to be 10.
The last few episodes are pretty much going to be all on that side, I think, because this is supposed to lead directly into Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
and that would make sense, kind of, because it kind of seems like it could be very similar to like a alternate dimension that she's kind of creating. But it's just, and I kind of figured that it was going to get more and more, like that, where we're going to see more outside of WandaVision. But just, the first couple episodes, I was just kind of like snoozing, like, so hopefully it starts to get better and we see more of that.
I really wish I could remember, and if you guys remember what I'm referring to, please tell me. But at the end of the episode, I loved where you're talking about, Tyler, when it like switches from the 4:3 aspect ratio and like the screen gets wider and to the 16:9 aspect ratio.
Yeah,
thereby telling you, okay, now we're in the real world.
Right.
I really liked that. Like, I think that's a cool director's device.
Oh, how it slowly expanded.
Yeah,
and
I feel like
it narrowed to like it screen
white
went more
screen.
Yeah, I feel like there's something else that's done that. Is there something else you guys can think of where that's happened? Because as I was watching this, I'm like, I feel like I've seen this used before as a plot device, and I cannot remember. Oh, you know what? I remember now. You guys maybe haven't seen it. Homecoming on Amazon Prime uses that, and I thought it was, and it's really cool the way they use it. You guys should watch that show.
Well,
but they use it to, like
frame rate and stuff all the time, so that's what I was thinking of.
Solo?
The Star Wars
aspect ratio.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, the only thing I could think of that changes the way it was shot over and over again in the movie was Solo.
I didn't even remember that. Does it go from like IMAX to 16:9 a lot? Because Aquaman does that.
No, it's not the ratio, it's the frame rate.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that Solo did that.
I didn't know it did either.
Because usually movies are in 24 frames.
It had two different directors, so the way Ron Howard shot it, as opposed to the other director,
frame rate, but style. Is that more what you mean?
No, like it goes. I'm trying to remember exactly because I've watched that movie once, but I remember we talked about it on the show. It's like, dude, it almost takes you out of it because like the color tone changes and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Homecoming uses the aspect ratios as a storytelling device to let you know you're in a different timeline. And it doesn't tell you if you're in the past or the future or what. What was that?
Does This Is Us do that?
No, This Is Us doesn't do that. Like, I know Arrow would do like a different, they would let you know you're in the past by putting like a different filter over the camera or things like that.
Softcore porn filter.
Anyway, I thought that was
Carter
a really,
did that too.
I liked that. That was a cool use. That was a cool storytelling device for me. Like, you didn't have to flip to another screen and say present day or alternate reality or whatever like that. You could just widen the lens, well, widen and shorten technically, and you know, okay, now we're in the real world. And I just really liked that. I thought that was a really interesting way to convey a message.
Well, and I think the main reason why they didn't put present day or real world or something like that is because that in itself would be a spoiler, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Say
that would, yeah, that maintaining. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So maintaining the mystery. I love this. Like I love every week trying to decipher what it is. It brings me back, and I don't think either of you are Lost fans, but it brings me back to that first season of Lost of trying to figure out what the heck was going on, right? Or any show like that. And that's what was fun about Lost, is like trying to figure out what it is you're watching. And I get that feeling from WandaVision. It's like, okay, they gave me, 80 to 90% of this episode is goofs and funs and stuff, but that 10 to 20% of these like glitches or whatever, like what is that telling me?
Yeah.
So I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I am too. And I don't know if have you guys heard this rumor that supposedly Evan Peters is going to be coming into the show as Quicksilver?
Okay, so you know how they do like Spanish dubs of these movies and stuff? So the voice actor that does, I'm not sure if it's Spanish or a different language, but the voice actor that did all of Evan Peters' Quicksilver dubbing has said just finished WandaVision, like his dubs for WandaVision. And it's been great to play Evan Peters again. And that tweet was deleted, but it was caught. I want to say it was Spanish.
Wow.
Evan Peters is confirmed to be in the show. He's confirmed to be in the show. Just everybody's assuming that it's Pietro.
I just wish that Quicksilver was as cool in Avengers as he was in X-Men.
Well, that's what we're saying is Evan Peters. This is the X-Men version.
I think that's both going to be in the same episode.
I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool. But I also think that it would be awesome if they used this alternate reality that's the theory that they're creating a new reality to bring in the X-Men, and Evan Peters is maybe the first one. And they don't have to bring in everybody. I don't need them to bring in Sophie Turner as Jean. She sucked. But bring in the good ones, and I think that'd be really cool.
The ones I want, Michael Fassbender.
How cool would that be if Michael Fassbender showed up and he's like, "Hey, daughter," that would be pretty sick.
I want Fassbender. I want McAvoy, and I want Evan Peters. Those are really the only ones that I care about. Oh, well, Hugh Jackman. Everybody loves Hugh Jackman, but he's not going to do it.
Sadly,
I can't think of any other ones that I'm like, that guy has to come back. I hated the new Cyclops. I hated the new Jean Grey. I didn't like Nicholas Hoult as Beast.
Yeah, I thought he was okay, but you could recast that, and I wouldn't be sad.
And then
I think the three you mentioned are really the only ones that I like really need to see, and of course Deadpool, but that's already confirmed that it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence doesn't want to do it anymore, so
I'm okay with that. Get someone new. She's kind of boring. I like Jennifer Lawrence, but as I think about it, she was the second. She wasn't the best Mystique.
Rebecca Romijn Stamos was the first one. Oh, she doesn't go by Stamos. Mm-hmm.
But Rebecca Romijn was the better Mystique. And it's because she was actually mysterious, hence the name Mystique. They gave us too much with Jennifer Lawrence's like good guy version. I still liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I prefer the original Mystique.
Yeah, but dude, Kelsey Grammer as Beast, top notch.
He was really
awesome.
good. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, too bad that movie sucked, but he was good as Beast.
Yeah, he was a shining light in that movie. Well, and of course, Ian McKellen as Magneto was great, but he's getting a little old. Patrick Stewart, same thing as Professor X. They were awesome, but I do think that it would make more sense to bring in the new versions of those characters into the MCU when you probably want them playing the role for 10 more years.
Have you seen Picard?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I have it. I have it downloaded, ready to watch. I just haven't gotten into it yet.
Well, the only point I make about it is just confirming, yeah, he's getting so old. Like
he said Logan was as much his call off from the character as it was Hugh Jackman's.
Yeah,
and it was amazing for both of them.
Okay, yeah, because he's just, he's a little bit hard to watch at times in Picard because it's just like, man, you're too old to be doing this,
Well, I watched the Mark Hamill, Patrick Stewart commercial. Tomato. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Uber Eats.
Mark
Is it
Hamill,
the Uber Eats commercial?
Yeah, it's Uber Eats.
He's like, I'm going to take this with a side of tomato. And he's like, and I'm going to take this with a side of tomato. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, him and Mark Hamill, they're like dueling. Those are funny ads.
And he goes, I'm going to send you crying back to your daddy. And then Mark Hamill says, I am my daddy. And Patrick Stewart's like, what? It's really funny.
They are funny.
But I've seen it so many times it's not funny anymore, but it's funny it was funny the first time.
I agree.
But yeah, he's old, man. He is very old. But I do think that he's gonna be Pietro.
I think it'd be cool. I love the idea.
I just want his powers to be on par, because like Quicksilver in Ultron was fast, but Quicksilver in X-Men, like, he was crazy fast, like time stopped basically when he started moving.
Yeah.
I think the issue with the Quicksilver in Avengers is they just made him too serious, right? There was none of that comical element to him. Like, I agree with you. I think Evan Peters was the better Quicksilver.
Oh, so much. Way better.
I thought the costume that Aaron Taylor Johnson wore was better, though. Like, I thought the silver windbreaker, whatever it was that Evan Peters was wearing, was beyond ridiculous.
Oh, he looks silly.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them look
that
great.
Taylor Johnson has, but it's better. It's more traditional Quicksilver, that skin tight leotard, and it makes more sense too. If you're the fastest man alive, and you want to be the fastest man alive, why are you wearing stuff that's going to create wind draw?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, and can you imagine how hard that'd be?
Like literally a windbreaker. But
so speaking of Evan Peters, he had how many movies was he in again? He was only in 2, right?
I think 2.
I think so.
Yeah. And he was the highlight in each one of them.
No, he was in 3. He was in Apocalypse, he was in Days of Future Past, and he was in Dark Phoenix. But Dark Phoenix, he got sidelined. I would say, what's the best Quicksilver scene in either Apocalypse or Days of Future Past? Which one has the better one in your guys' opinion?
I don't know.
Say that again.
So in Days of Future Past, Quicksilver has the scene where he breaks Magneto out of the prison and he's like zooming around that kitchen and like he's like taking a swipe of some soup as he's riding along and everything. And then you've got in Apocalypse, he's rescuing everyone from the mansion. Which of those 2 scenes do you think was better?
I don't know.
The kitchen scene is good. The part that throws me off about the mansion scene is when he throws that big sheet in the woods and then throws everybody in the sheets. I'm like, okay, who the hell has sheets that big?
Well, that and he threw the sheet, and I'm like, so how is the sheet defying physics? When you're defying physics, you know what I mean? Like, just because he throws it doesn't mean that all of a sudden it throws so much faster. I don't know, maybe it does, but anyway, I like. Oh, absolutely, that scene was hilarious. I don't care if it was unrealistic. Someone running that fast is already unrealistic. It's fine. Well, but the kitchen scene was my favorite of the 2.
He catches the fish in the aquarium because like the water's like in the air, That was cool.
The
movie,
dog with the pizza in its mouth, and
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
so ridiculous. That it's hard for me to like any part of that movie. Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Days of Future Past was very good in my
That's a
opinion.
great movie. That's my favorite X-Men movie besides Logan.
So it's always going to lean towards Days of Future Past for me, even though Days of Future Past gets really convoluted really quick, but it's just a more enjoyable movie.
Yeah, so good.
What do you guys think about Wiccan and Speed making their appearance as babies, of course, but
I thought that was really cool. Yeah, they weren't saying twins, and I was like, she has twins though. They're gonna do twins here, right? And they weren't saying it. And then she had the first baby, and I was like, she's not done. There's no way she's done. And then she wasn't done, and she had a twin, and I thought that was
her
pretty
belly
cool.
didn't go away. And then when she's really big, like just a couple minutes before she goes into labor, her belly is so huge. I was like, there's definitely 2 kids in there. Definitely. Because I don't know. I know both of you have had pregnant women recently in your lives. They don't get that big. Like that little girl, because Elizabeth Olsen is a small woman. They don't get bellies that big unless there's twins or they're giving birth like a 15-pound baby.
Okay, but how did they even have these kids? That's the question.
It's all in her head.
Yeah.
It's all in her head.
Well, you see, Tyler, when 2 people love each other very much. I love how they made that joke too.
My favorite line, that's actually a nod to my moniker here, is he goes, at 4 months your baby is this size. He goes, yes, but what about when after 12 hours, what fruit would she be the size? And I laughed so hard, dude, because he looks like every other man the first time their wife is pregnant.
Oh, I could totally relate to him. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait,
or as she's like
my
having
junk works. Is that what you're telling me right now? It works.
Or like as she's having her real contractions and he starts floating into the air and she has to calm him down. Yeah, I think that was kind of funny. No, honey. And he's like lowering as that's happening. Like it was totally relatable. I love it. I mean, I don't know. I just had my wife having her baby, and you worry and you're excited, but you're nervous. And when you're in the delivery room, you're like, what the heck do I do? Because I'm just here. You know what I mean? You feel a little helpless, but that's okay.
Dude, I remember all of my kids. So we get to the hospital and she's like having active labor, like no pushing or anything, but it takes a while. I'm asleep for almost all of that because normally we get there at 4:00 in the morning. And I literally get there, get her all checked in, make sure everything's good, and I crash immediately on that little couch that they put in those hospital rooms. It probably makes me a crappy husband, but she has
emphasis on little couch.
That's true. They are pretty small.
Yes, but yeah. So I thought it was funny, and I realized this as soon as they were saying Billy and Tommy. They were going back and forth with the name. I was like, oh. It is Wiccan and Speed because Wiccan and Speed is Billy and Tommy.
I'll be honest.
But I wonder.
I don't know those characters either, but I know that she's had twins in the comics.
Well, they're part of Young Avengers, and there's been a rumor that Young Avengers, they recently recast Ant-Man's daughter. She's part of Young Avengers. I'm wondering how much of this alternate universe that Scarlet Witch has built, how much of it is real, and if those kids are in fact real.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
They might be. Yeah, they might be.
I mean, she's a witch, and witches can do pretty amazing things, and to be able to make a pregnancy last a week is not too far-fetched if you're a witch, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, she made a stork appear out of thin air, so
that's what that was. Okay, that makes so much more sense now.
Are you kidding me? You didn't get that when it was standing in front of the picture of the stork in the nursery?
I'm an idiot.
Tyler, please tell me you understood that was a stork.
Yes, I understood that was a stork.
You're awesome, Max.
Sometimes I need to just keep my thoughts inside so I don't look like such an idiot.
um, but yeah, that stork scene was pretty funny. But I want to know why. Like, if she, so did everybody else in the town? How real are they? Because they were all nervous about Geraldine, right?
That's what
Saying,
I'm
wait a minute, she
saying.
just showed
That's why I think that they're all part of her illusion, and like Geraldine was sent there by Sword, because they talked about it. They said she doesn't have a husband, she doesn't have a home. She was sent here or something. They allude to the fact that like she was sent there, or that she came here. We don't know why she came here or something like that. Like, I think there's a few people in town, Geraldine being one of them, that aren't supposed to be there. And I love that they showed the Sword logo, so that we got to talk a little bit more about Sword. And Tyler, we talked about this last week, but like Sword is like the other Shield, basically, now that Shield's gone. And I know they're in the comics. I can't like say that I'm like an authority on it. I don't know a ton about Sword, but that's definitely who they are. And I like that they were showing that, and Wanda's starting to figure out, who are you? Why are you here? Who are you really? And then, of course, when Vision comes back in after Wanda kicked Geraldine out, and Vision comes back in, hey, where is she? And Wanda just lies to him, because I think we're right on the fact that Vision isn't part of the illusion. It is Vision, but he's not in on what's going on, and Wanda's trying to hide it from him. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think
this is all something they're trying to rebuild him.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, I think it's interesting that she doesn't remember. Like, it seems like Geraldine kind of is like remembering with Wanda. Like, wait a second, he was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? Like, she's kind of, it's like she's got this memory wall up too.
Yeah.
Even though she seems like an outside person that came in, it's like yeah.
I didn't see it that way. I saw that she was kind of acting.
Maybe.
I think it could be one of either one. I kind of thought she was acting too, but I think you could be right, Tyler. It could very well be that like you entered this realm and your memories are like kind of wonky because of it too.
Yeah, a little hazy or whatever.
Yeah, very well.
Which
could be.
Maybe could explain the beekeeper suit. Maybe you have to wear that to maintain your memories.
Maybe.
Right.
I kind of figure out why that wear the beekeeper suit.
Yeah, coming out of the sewer. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my theory. Go ahead, Tyler. No, my theory is so when Geraldine gets thrown out of the world, right? It looks very digital, like almost like she broke through like a Matrix type wall, right? Like it looks kind of digital. Then when it looks at her on the ground, it's a whole bunch of military that's approaching this woman. It might be the Marines or the Army or something like that. And then it pans off and you see those stadium lights. Did you see that when it pans off? And those stadium lights are putting up a force field that looks very much like that digital boundary that Geraldine just penetrated.
Yeah. So I don't know if the stadium lights were putting up the boundary or not.
Yeah, I don't know. But my thought process is I wonder if Wanda and this military are together, and Geraldine, whose real name is I can't remember it. She's Captain Marvel's friend. If she is part of Sword and they're trying to infiltrate this military that's holding Wanda and Vision, and they're creating this universe.
Maybe I thought
something more purposeful.
I thought the military was Sword, and what I'm gathering is that whatever Wanda is doing is a threat to the real world, and they're trying to stop it.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking.
That's what I was.
I don't think they are Sword, because they put their guns on her. They will come up to her. They would know immediately who she is.
I couldn't tell if there were guns on her or not.
They had guns on her. It seemed like they were pointing guns at her and stuff. But my theory about it is, and this could be totally wrong, but this is just from what I pieced together, is that it seems like what could have happened is Wanda started creating this WandaVision place, and it started affecting the real world, and maybe they found some way to suppress it, and they're keeping her, and that's why there's this voice over the radio like trying to contact her, saying like, what are they doing to you, what's happening? And then people are somehow finding a way to enter WandaVision and help her, but this whatever military group that's suppressing her doesn't know that it's happening. They don't know that these people are going in there.
Maybe. Yeah, it could be. That's what's fascinating about the show. There's a lot of theories that, to me, they all hold water. They could all be true.
But we learn one thing from that scene. It's not in her head, right? So this is a physically manifested thing that's happening.
That's true. That's true.
Geraldine is physically thrown out wearing the same clothes. So it's not like she put on, a helmet and was able to mentally enter this world. She physically entered this world.
Yeah,
that's true.
So it's a physical apparition, right? It's not in her head. So, I mean, at least we got that this exists somewhere. Like kind of like the Truman Show. Like I kind of incorporate it to the.
Yeah, I could still see that the townspeople aren't real though, personally, but I don't know.
But I don't think all of them. I think Dottie is a real person. I think Agnes is a real person. Yeah. Wanda is obviously a real person, and I think Vision is real. I'm almost certain that Vision is real.
Yeah, and the thing that what I would say to confirm that is that when they follow, the camera follows Vision to work, right? So it's somewhere where Wanda's not, and she would basically be having to make up this whole office area where he's working. Mm-hmm. If he was not real, like why would it be doing that? Maybe I'm not explaining myself well.
But she didn't make a real job for him. He just goes and he computes.
He just computes, yeah. yeah.
But, and here's the thing, he's questioning it from the beginning, right? He's like, what do we do here?
Yeah.
We compute. What do we compute? Numbers. Well, what do the numbers mean? They're computations. Like it just kind of goes around to this circular thing.
Are we selling something? No. Are we providing a service? No.
Yeah, and it would seem that if he's like, just not a real person, why would he be questioning what he's doing at work?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
He's definitely a sentient. Is that the right word? Sentient personality. Yeah. Like he's separate from what's happening. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. See, I'm shocked that we've talked as long as we have about this, but we spent a lot of the beginning of the show. But it's interesting to see this kind of play out. And once again, Marvel does an extraordinary job of taking a genre of a show or genre of a movie and spinning it into a superhero fashion. I mean, they've done it since they've started, and they're doing it again. Like I think they've been very successful in creating the show. Even down to the way the special effects are done with things on a string and everything like that. Like, it's just fantastic, and it's fun to watch. And Tyler, I hope it gets more enjoyable for you in the future.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, me too. I'm sticking with it. I just, it's just
you have to know what the hell's going to happen in Doctor Strange, because I think all this is like pivotal stuff.
Well, that's Doctor Strange is 2022, right? So we got time.
Yeah.
That's my one beef, is I wish they were releasing 2 episodes a week. That'd
be nice. But at the same time, it gives us something every Friday to watch for the next 7 weeks. That's cool.
Yeah, which it would be fine if they were longer, and I get why they're not longer, but I wish there was 2 episodes a week, because
that'd be fine. That would be nice.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, those episodes are going to be much longer.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like hour-long episodes, but there's only 6 of them.
If they ever come out.
Well, that's got a release window.
Oh, it's
coming out right after WandaVision.
March 15th, it's confirmed.
All right.
Black Widow get pushed though, apparently.
Has that been confirmed, or is that still just rumor?
No, I don't think it's confirmed, but it's kind of confirmed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, like half of everything was delayed to 2022 this week, which I'm very annoyed about, but whatever.
I think Disney should go the route of putting it on their premium service.
I'd pay for it. So should we give our ratings?
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler, since you've been gone for a few weeks, basically right now we give our rating, and it does it in couch cushions and throw pillows.
All right.
5 is really good. and a half a point is a throw pillow, and 1 is really bad. So now that you're brought up to speed, go ahead and give us your rating of this show.
I appreciate you clarifying that for me. No, I think I'm gonna give it.
And this is just the episode, not all 3, just this episode.
I'm gonna say 2 cushions and a throw pillow. It did give us a little bit at the end. I am more intrigued now that you brought up her kids because I didn't really know who they were. So that adds an extra, intriguing element to it. But yeah, it's mostly just been really hard for me to sit through, even though there are moments of that I, are a little bit funny and stuff, but most of it's just kind of like really, really tough for me to get through that old fashioned, what I think is way over the top old fashioned stuff. So, but yeah, 2.5.
I just thought of something when you said twins. How much do you want to bet that those twins are going to play the Michelle Tanner? Like they're going to swap them in and out, and it's going to be very apparent, right? Like one might have a different hairstyle. Like they're going to swap those 2 kids out.
Much like they did. Yeah.
How much do you want to bet that's going to happen?
I sure hope so.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. There's been rumors that Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen might make an appearance, but like, we'll see. They haven't really done anything in a long time.
Anybody was able to do it to be her sister.
I think that'd be cool, especially if they were in the Full House episode and if they came over as her sisters. I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially because this is like supposed to be like a made up world. So they don't actually have to be her sisters. Anyway, so should I give my rating?
Yeah.
Yes, cool. Go for it, buddy.
I gave the last 2 episodes 4 out of 5. I'm keeping with that. It's 4 out of 5 for me. Very much enjoyed it. I was grinning ear to ear pretty much the whole time. I thought it was great that they gave us some more tidbits. I said last week that if they didn't start giving us more, I would be annoyed, but I think they gave us enough this week. Clearly, I mean, I think we started talking about the show at the hour mark of the show. If not, maybe even earlier. I think we maybe even talking about the episode for an hour, and I'm not really bored. Like it's been a great conversation. And so 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's funny that our conversation about this episode is longer than the actual episode.
I mean, we got sidetracked with like a Jurassic Park arm and stuff.
Well, that tends to happen. We all have some form of ADHD, so that tends to happen on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
So I believe I gave the last 2 episodes a 4 out of 5. I like this one a lot more than I love those first. But this, I think they just hit so many things right on the nose, even to the point of the intro when they're walking out of the store buying stuff and it does that pause thing. That is very Laverne and Shirley-esque, where they show them doing some random activity, like buying something and pausing it and then putting they paid so much attention to trying to make these episodes as historically accurate as they could. That has to give a little bit of you have to give a little bit of a nod to that. So I think I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5, which is a high rating, but I think it's well done, and I'm very excited about what's come next. I haven't been this excited about watching a show every week as I have this show. I mean, I saw it at 2:45 this morning, and then watched it again at noon.
Yeah, I feel like your Mandalorian levels of hype for this show. That was me every week for The Mandalorian. I could not wait to get up and watch this show. I just could not wait.
And Mandalorian is an excellent show, but go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was mad because the Arizona time didn't come on until 1 a.m. I was like, dang.
I know. I wanted to stay up, but I was like, I have to work in the morning, so I didn't stay up.
Is it 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought they didn't come out till 3 a.m. So I thought I was lucky by getting to watch it at 2:45.
I'm pretty sure it's 1 a.m.
Well, that's good to know. I won't have to stay up as late next week. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't work today, so I was able to stay up a little bit. But so if you're not checking out WandaVision, go check it out. It's a very fun show. Despite what Tyler says, Tyler's usually wrong anyways. So, yeah, go check it out. It's very fun. It's on Disney Plus. New episodes every Friday, just like our show. There's new episodes every Friday. And
Yes,
with a
sir.
whole host of characters from myself, Max, Tyler, Sam, and soon to be Matt whenever he decides he actually wants to come on the show. So that wasn't official. I shouldn't have said that, but
I'm sure he'll be on sometime.
so just call me Tom Holland because I'm dropping the spoilers here. But yeah, so go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, go our website, couchcrunchers.com. There's some fun articles on there. And every Monday, the audio from this show is posted on your favorite podcasting platform. And it's been a great night. Tyler and Max, thank you so much. And until next time, keep on geeking on.
Keep on.
Woohoo!